Attention to all founders, hustlers, and hardworking entrepreneurs. The Hustle's 2024 Entrepreneurship Trends Report is out now, and it's a goldmine of valuable strategies, data-driven insights, and expert tips for elevating your business. Have you ever wondered how successful business owners are staying ahead of the crowd in today's super competitive market? Well, we talked to over 500 small business owners to uncover how they're doing it and did a ton of research so you don't have to. We know you're busy building your business, so we got you covered. The Hustle's 2024 Entrepreneurship Trends Report is something you don't want to miss. This right here is the future of entrepreneurship. So stop what you're doing right now and check the link in the show notes to get that report right now. Top of the Monday, everybody. It's Monday, September 30th. I'm John Weigell here with Ben Berkley, and this is the Hustle Daily Show. Wendy's Frosty versus McDonald's McFlurry, a battle I'm sure most of us have an opinion on. The issue with the McFlurry, though, as heavily publicized, is that the machine that makes it almost never works. This fact is the main driver behind a new Wendy's campaign to redirect the fast food customer from the McFlurry over to the Frosty. So how are they doing it, and is right now the best time to toy with McDonald's? We'll get to that in a bit, but first let's give you the hits and headlines in business and tech. Let's go. Okay, so we talked about Meta a lot last week, and we're putting a button on it now. Mark Zuckerberg and Meta are riding high. They're doing really well. They've been a big topic of discussion lately with their latest smart eyewear, and right now, Bloomberg is reporting that Zuck's wealth has jumped sixfold in the past 2 years, and shares of Meta are trading at almost a record high, which is up 60% this year. Up next, some password news. The National Institute of Standards and Technology proposed some new guidelines for fraud protection. One of these proposals, hear me out, is a ban on, quote, outdated password practices, aka you don't need special characters like %, exclamation point, question mark, la-di-da-di-da, and no more security questions about, your first pet or your first grade teacher's last name. Sorry, Miss Williams, but I hope this goes through sometime soon. From there, we do some AI news to finish out. More drama on the way for OpenAI and ChatGPT, if you can believe it. As the New York Times reports, despite the company's incredible strides, it's still seeing a loss of about $5 billion. So why is that? The company cites the computing power it gets from its partner, Microsoft, whose cloud services host OpenAI's products. And speaking of OpenAI, it seems on top of this, they also lost an investor. Apple has reportedly pulled the plug on investment talks with the AI giant in their next funding round. But there's little cause for concern. It seems like this round is projected to value OpenAI up to $150 billion, so they may not need the company from Cupertino to help out. Hey everybody, I've been listening to this awesome podcast lately called Nudge. It's hosted by Phil Agnew, and it's brought to you by the HubSpot Podcast Network, the audio destination for business professionals. Have you ever noticed how the smallest changes can have the biggest impact? On Nudge, you learn simple evidence-backed tips to help you kick bad habits, get a raise, and grow a business. Every bite-sized 20-minute show comes packed with practical advice from admired entrepreneurs and behavioral scientists. Nudge is fast-paced but still insightful with real-world examples that you can actually apply, and it's the UK's fastest-growing business podcast. I was listening to an episode recently where Phil had on Nick Kalenda, who is a former mind reader and psychic who now works with big companies in their sales departments on selling more products. It's absolutely mind-boggling, and you got to check this out. If you want an MBA's worth of insight in one single podcast, this show is right for you. Every 20-minute podcast gives you something extra special. And you can listen to Nudge wherever you get your podcasts. Okay, so on to more serious things, Ben. Wendy's is gunning for McDonald's customers, and it's specifically going for their dessert. So what is Wendy's doing here in a battle of Frosty versus McFlurry?
So this is nothing new. Everyone in the fast food space is looking up the mountain and trying to knock McDonald's off it and claim their rightful spot at the top. This mountain, in my mind, is made up of burgers and fries and smells really good.
That's my Everest.
Right? I didn't have lunch yet as we speak, so good luck to us getting through this without me diverting us there again. But what we're talking about today is Wendy's has a really fun strategy to take it to McDonald's. One thing that we know about McDonald's McFlurries, they are delicious because the ice cream is always delicious.
Yeah.
The second thing we know, you can't get them often. Those machines are broken. it's like a very famous disaster that whenever you go to one, you're not. It's to the point where there's something called McBroken, which tracks locations that aren't currently serving ice cream.
Hilarious.
And so what Wendy's has done is they have partnered with McBroken, which is like a golden opportunity just sitting there that any other fast food chain could have taken. They are promoting a $1 Frosty deal on that site and then also adding themselves onto the map when you're searching for broken McFlurry machines. You're going to see Wendy's on there and you're going to see that $1 Frosty and you're going to go.
Yeah, this is a pretty fantastic integration. Of course, on the McBroken site, you can see which McDonald's have broken McFlurry machines. And if the one by you is broken, they will very easily direct you to the nearest Wendy's and say, also, here, have a Frosty for $1. What an incredible guerrilla marketing tactic.
Yeah, it's just aggressive. It's going at your competitor. And I kind of always like it when they do this because we're all comparing them in our normal lives. So I just feel like the more that you are directly being like, hey, our product is great, and also you can get it when you want it, why not? And, I think they have a really long way to climb. Let's acknowledge that. McDonald's runs up the score. Last quarter, McDonald's put up almost $6.5 billion in revenue. Wendy's is at $500 million.
Oh, yeah.
So, we're not talking about equals here, but I love that they're inhabiting this space and making themselves be not only equals, but showing very plainly, here is something that we do better than you.
Yeah. It seems like they are very on top of that as well about the Frosty kind of outperforming the McFlurry, at least in the consistency that it is always able to be made. And this brings us to kind of another section here that I was curious about is how are each of them made, right? You have the Frosty and you have the McFlurry, and the McFlurry machines are always broken. So it must be a different manufacturer that is making the McFlurry versus the Frosty.
Oh, but it is not.
Oh.
The Taylor Company, actually, I believe you would probably see them in dorms and everything too. They're the ice cream machine maker. They serve most chains, including Wendy's and including McDonald's. Where this kind of goes apart is that McDonald's has a self-cleaning function to theirs that just breaks and breaks a lot, it would seem. And so I feel like there have been different points in time where Taylor's had to put their hand up and be like, hey, it's not that our machines really suck. It's that their specific variant that they requested, it's a little, it's going to have some problems going off the menu.
Wow. So it's the self-cleaning function that breaks the McFlurry machine. That is fascinating that they've decided to put that in and really insisted on it. And that's the thing that consistently breaks them instead of just anything else in the machine itself.
Yeah, it's a self-inflicted wound. And also, clearly, it doesn't matter because they're number one in the space and probably always will be. But, I mean, while we're talking about just odd McFlurry facts, we really do need to acknowledge the one that really came to me while we were talking about this story, which is that hedgehogs could get trapped in the former McFlurry lids. And so they have redesigned them to be more hedgehog friendly, which love everything about that last sentence.
That is, where would a hedgehog have found a McFlurry? I'm assuming in some sort of plastic waste problem that maybe hedgehogs were crawling into them. But
yeah,
that is a very unique realization.
You throw away McFlurry, it's going to still have residue. They have sweet tooths. They're going to kind of be attracted to that smell. They're going to get in there. And British Hedgehog Preservation Society has been banging this drum for a while, where they have talked about how hedgehogs face a, quote, nasty, gruesome death if this is not rectified. And so this has been a long campaign where they've been trying to get them to change the way that these are packaged. And here we are. And the Hedgehog Society has since said they are delighted and many lives will be saved. So everybody wins.
A lot of McFlurry drama in this story today.
Yeah. I mean, the biggest McFlurry drama is, of course, that I do not have one presently, and that, again, I did not have lunch.
Yes.
And that sounds really good right about now.
Yeah.
But I will note also, Frosty's not without drama. The Wendy's fan base very divided on whether they should have any flavor other than their traditional kind of chocolate one.
Oh, yeah.
The vanilla was there for a long time. Now I think there's a strawberry that's popular. They're doing all these weird little things. They got a SpongeBob thing coming out. So everyone's kind of like tinkering with their special treat, and not everyone's happy. But again, this round I'm going to give to Frosty only because I feel like if I left my house right now, I could get one.
Yeah. And, Ben, why don't you do that? I'll let you have your Everest today.
Okay. Well, off I go.
All right, and that'll do it for us today. Thanks, everybody, for tuning into the Hustle Daily Show. We're a proud part of the HubSpot Podcast Network. Our editor today is Robert Hartwig, and our executive producer is Darren Clark. We've got a lot more tech and business coverage in our newsletter. If you're not subscribed, go sign up at thehustle.co/email. Follow us on Instagram, and we'll see you tomorrow. Super quick question here. How many tabs do you have open right now? If you're like me, it's a lot. And if you're running a business, it's a lot more. And with all those tabs, you're spending more time searching through data and less time, growing your business. But HubSpot's customer platform brings all your tools into a single powerful place that your teams can use together. So close those tabs. It's business growing time. Visit HubSpot.com to get started today.